All right, we're going to now install the water pumps. And they do have it plural, I guess, because there are 2 pumps on here. And you can see here they show one. This is the exit port, so I guess they have two inlets and 1 exit. And it's interesting, they colored it yellow because it's a brass one. And I already put the gasket ring on it, the high temperature ring. Over here, number 44, that's pointing to the 1 right here, but although they did not say it needed 2, but I know that it does. I happen to have saw pictures in here. If you flip to the back, there's a bunch of pictures, and you can see there's the water pumps, and there's 2 ports on it, and then we'll have to put the clips on once we get the hoses cut to the right length, probably after everything's already installed on here. Yeah, so there they are there. Okay, so, and it looks like it's gonna take three screws. Oh, that was the one that yeah, 3 screws. There's number 17 here, 2 of them, and one over here. And that makes sense because I do have 2 here and 1 right on this other side. Okay, so let's start putting the little toes bibs on. So we'll get this one and we'll start turning it. Luckily, I went into my old tools and I had a little set of tune-up wrenches that used to work on older cars. So I'll squish that down a little bit. There's no O-ring groove, so I don't want to squish it out. I just wanted to compress it a little bit. All right. Yeah, that should be okay. Then we'd stick one on the top. This one doesn't use an O-ring. It's got a flat washer. I should be able to tighten it more. So there's one, and there's the other one. Oops. There, I can snug that decently. Okay, and then very simply, I got these 3 screws. We're ready to mount it. Here's my wrench. Let's see about putting in this one single one at the top here. Let's see, it fits like this. Okay, I don't know why there's an extra 2. There's 2 holes here, but I go up to the top one just so I can get these at the side, and you can see the holes line up there. So we're going to put this one in from the top. Okay, I guess I can't be vertical because the falls off my thing here. So let's put it in first there, and then I'll come right over here to catch it. There it goes. And just lightly so it still moves. Okay, and now we got these other 2 here. Sure gave us pretty good clearance holes, that's for sure. Okay, I think I can tighten them down now. Get a good one there. There. And there. All right. Huh. Pretty neat. It's got geared teeth for the belt. Okay, on to the next. All right, so about this oil pump. It's a little bit different here. It starts off by saying to rotate out the 4 screws. So that remove the 4 screws on the tip of it. See, it's all put together except for this bracket. And the only way to get this bracket on is you got to remove this gear and then put the bracket on, because here's the bracket. Okay, So you can't get the bracket on until you pull this off. And this is the instructions here on how to pull the gear off. So you take these 4 bolts out that are on here, and you can see it over here. There's just like a little 4 of them in a pattern. And then it says, then loosen the M3 fixing screw on both sides. There's a smaller diameter in there that pinches on the shaft, but the gear is covering it. And I couldn't figure out, you can see the gears, and I figured, how in the world am I supposed to get that? Well, I guess once you've unbolted the 4 screws from here, you take the pulley and it pushes that way away, and then you can undo the set screw and take the whole thing apart. Now here they're talking about using a puller tool to pull off the gear. Well, I think that is if it was pressed on there, but it doesn't seem to be pressed on. So you can see here, I removed the four screws on the head, and then I pushed the gear back because it was covering them. I just pushed the gear back, and now you can see where they are. I've already loosened them, so that's why this will come off now. But you can see there's a set screw there, and there's a set screw on the other side. So there was the 2 set screws, and once I pushed the gear back to get to the set screws, then I could take this off. It wasn't even pressed or nothing on here. I think what they were worried about was this part being pressed on, because it's a fit. Okay, so now I've got it off of there. And according to this, it looks like it goes on like this. However, that's a little tight. I guess I gotta loosen these screws here. Is that the right size? Yeah, that'll work. I think, yeah, that's the right size. Okay, does it fit? Oh boy, that's a little tight. Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, that's a little tight. Do I have these loose completely? I do. I may have to pry that open to get that on there. That is quite tight. Let me just remove these screws for a minute. There. I don't think I can bend it open any. Yeah, that's pretty tight. I'm gonna have to get something in there to open that a little bit so I can slide it on there, and then I can put the screws back. All right, I will bring you back when I'm ready. Okay, so I was able to get it on there, and it spins around nice until I can clamp it. I had to use a couple of screwdrivers here, so I put one in on one side, and I put the other one in on the other side, and then once I pushed down, it opened it right up. Okay, so now it's on there, and I can reassemble. So if I remember right, it go like that. Yeah, it goes like this. It goes like this. And then I'm gonna have to try to get this thing on. And I remember it was flush to the edge of this screw when I did it. That gives you enough room to move that gear back. So where are the set screws? There they are. So you can barely get it in there. Barely get the driver in there. I'm gonna set it down, and I'm gonna try to hold it right there. Okay, that one just snugged a little in, and I am flush right there. Let's go to the other one. Okay, there I am. I'm gonna give it a little snug, and over here we'll do the same. There. All right, and now I need to find the bolts. There they are. And I bet you as I screw it on, it will suck it right up there. Okay, so let's start with this one. Okay, that one started. Let's go to the other side. that one started. There we go to another one. Oops. I seem to be missing one. Oh, there it is. Okay. There. And I'll show you as I tighten them up how this slides back on. Okay, you can see the gap right there where I could reach this thing, and as I tighten it, that gap will just disappear. Go right around in a pattern here. There, see, it's covering it right up. Yeah. There. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to give it a little bit of a snug because they were on there fairly decently. There. There. Okay, and okay. Yeah, so you can barely see the little hole on either side. Yeah. Okay. Let's put these back just gently. Get them started there and there. I think they use this bigger wrench here, yeah. Okay, let go, there. Now, I gotta get a few more parts. I need you can see here, I need number 20, 29, 30, and 31. 20, 29, okay, so 20 is this great big long one. I've been wondering where that one was gonna go. 20, 29, there's the box for that. 25, 6, 7, 8, 29, okay, it's over here. And, well, I see a long thing. Oh, this is 29. It's the actual pulley. Uh-oh. Now I've done it. Those two go there. Let's scoot some of these back. I want to pull up on that thing. Okay, good. Got the divider back. Okay, and then I'm going to need 30 is the little washer. Well, that shows it a little bit bigger. I know I need 31, which is this. Is this 30? Oh, it's thicker than I thought. Yeah, that's thicker than I thought. Okay. Well, what happened to it? I may not know now. I may have to watch the video to see where that... Oh, there it is. Wow, that rolled quite a ways away. Okay. All right, so I got 29. I can hold the manual there. 29, and then the pulley goes on 30, or 20, 29. This is 30, and then this is 31. Okay. And that is supposed to go, oh, that goes, I think, inside of, oh, here's the picture. Yeah, so it goes through the clamp, and then it must fasten somehow into the block. Okay, so this then goes through the clamp. Oh, yeah, just like that. Okay, and then I guess you have to make sure we line it up because it goes in a little bit far. I'll have to keep it back about like that. Yeah, okay. Unless I had the wrong washer, but I think that one was right because it said 30 by 0.8. 30 was supposed to be 3.1 by 5 by 0.8. where's my calipers? Wipe off anything. Millimeters. Okay, so what is this? I think it was supposed to be 0.8. Oh, it is 0.8 thick. Okay, that's it. It seemed like it was. I guess it would have been nicer if they had calculated and made it work by just shoving it all the way up. Oh, I guess you can't do that because, yeah, because it goes inside of the hole. Okay. All right, and so then, how does it attach? It looks like it fits. Put those back. Got a little picture here, but it's really difficult. Oh, I see. This guy is where the tubing goes. So if the tubing is in there, like that, how does the rest of it supposed to go? Maybe it just swings. Maybe it, oh, is that right? Okay, there is something going on here. Oh, there's some more stuff I haven't gotten. I see down in here. Yeah, all right. There's a few more things. And it looks like it's going to be using this bracket right here. If you can see, it somehow is using this bracket. And that guy is right here, this bracket. And there's the little slot, I'll bet you. That's probably what I couldn't figure out when I'm first looking at this. Why was there this one bolt that's really long sticking out and the rest of them are not? I think that bolt must go through that slot and then you somehow clamp it there. Okay, so I will need to get some more parts here. When I'm going to get all these parts and actually figure it out so I'm not mumbling to you, and I'll be back. Well, I think I found everything now. So we got a couple of ports to put things on. We've got this one that goes up on the top, so I might as well put it on. That's number 44. There. And then I've got this one with an no, it doesn't have an O. It's got a flat washer, and that goes down below. It's got a screwdriver slot for right now, and I don't know exactly which way it points. It's supposed to point. All right, I'm gonna have to just twirl it on until I start it here. Oh. Okay, there we go. I don't know which way that goes, so I think if the bracket is here, I'm going to point it down a little bit. I can always change it later. Okay, all right. Well, let me look quickly at the back of this book to make sure. I'm glad they have these pictures. Okay, so this says the oil pump link. And I can see that it just is coming kind of below that bracket that's right there, and it has to spin around and fit another port on the engine. Okay. So I guess it looks like it kind of points towards the bracket. So I think I'm just gonna not tighten it. Yeah, I'm gonna let it kind of just be snug, and I can spin it around if I need to. Okay. All right, so then there's a spacer that goes on this long threaded nut, or bolt, bolt that's stuck out. And then there's this nut that goes on the back side. This could require a lot more fingers than what I've got. All right. Wonder what side that's supposed to be. I'm gonna put it over on this side of it, I think. Okay. Now, yeah, gummy. All right, so I'm in the bottom slot. It's really difficult for me to film this, but I put this long bolt in the bottom slot, and then I'm gonna see about reaching this up and putting it into here. Where's my long, bigger wrench here? I think this is what I needed. Yep, that started it. Ooh. Okay. And let's see, now there it is. God, how am I going to get that nut on there? That'll be fun. You can see it there. And it hasn't, it must have an adjustment to move. So I'm gonna, and this is a funny looking nut. It's not what I would say a standard looking nut. It's got, you know, the hex part is sticking out, and then it's round everywhere else. So I think I want the hex part down against the plate. So I don't know how I'm going to turn this on there, because I can't turn that screw with it being fixed. So this is going to be probably difficult, and I may not be able to film it, because I can just barely get this thing right there. And I don't know, can I turn it this way? Get lucky? Oh my God, no, I thought I had it. Wait, I do have it. I don't believe it. Okay. Oh, look at that. That's how you would tighten it, the belt. You can see it. I can swing it out. Oh, isn't that fancy? Okay, so let me see if this pulley will still turn if I tighten it. Yeah, it does. It still turns. Okay. And just for now, let me see it. Can I tighten this nut? Boy. I'll bet you it should have gone the other way, because it's so thin. That little nut flange is so thin, I can't get the wrench up against it to turn it. But if the thing was outboard, I probably would have been able to. Okay, well, I think I'll work to reverse it, and we'll move on with a little later. All right, we are now ready to mount the starter motor onto the gear in the back. After looking at this picture, I see that they may have added a little extra thing on here. It doesn't show it on the picture, but I can see that helps to hold the top of this gear when you're pushing it against the starter, the back gear here on the motor. It supports the top, and that's a good idea, and everything spins real fine. So I think we're supposed to leave it there, and that's what I'm going to do. And it requires 2 screws to fasten it, and you can see right here, it looks like they just go into those 2 holes right at the back of the motor, right here. I think it's these 2 small ones in the back here. I don't know what these others are for. Maybe something mounts on the front. Okay, so I'm going to Loctite those 2 But let's read a little bit here. It says, first install the screws and tighten them slightly. Okay. It is recommended to add low-strength glue to prevent the engine vibration. That's the Loctite. So it says adjust the gap right here. It is recommended to keep a A4 paper gap. So just a piece of like computer paper. Then tighten the number 11 screw. Rotate the flywheel clockwise and observe if the gear runs smoothly. And common errors. Too small of a gear clearance can cause a weak starter and increase the load. Excessive gear clearance can lead to a risk of gear tooth sweeping. I guess that's skipping over the teeth, or yeah. Okay, so we want a little, not tight, but just a teeny bit of an opening. I can put a piece of paper in there afterwards. So let's get a screw here with some Loctite on it. I'll put some on the other side. Okay. Now let's see if I can get this on here without dropping it. There. Okay. And let's try for the top screw here. There. So I think that I can hardly hold everything, but I think I can get it here. So let's put that into the back hole right here. Oh, it's not letting me get square to it. I'm gonna need a Allen with a ball end on it, like this. It gives a way to get angled onto the screw head here. Yeah. Ugh. I don't like that. It feels like it's not going in right. Okay, there we go. So we will just snug it up. I think it's... Okay, that's tight. Let's loosen it a little. Okay. Next screw, we'll do the next one. There, oh, that's a lot. Take a little bit of that off. There. That's a little tough to put that on. I think I'll take the flat one just to get it into the hole. There, if you can see that. There. Now we'll try to use the ball socket. There it goes. Boy, it just looks like it's tightening up on the threads. There. Okay, that's snug. Let's loosen it a little. Okay, so there's the movement we got. Okay, so if I'm looking at this gear, you can see I can pull it out just a little bit. So let's get it a little bit tighter, and I can probably move it and then really tighten it. I'm up tight right now. So if I just pulled it a little bit. Let's see how that works. There. Maybe I can get this other end on. Yeah. I think what's holding me out too is the engine mounting bracket. Okay. I don't really want to turn this gear because I I have it all set for the timing right now. Perfect, straight. Oh, and I was able to see if the cam shaft was flat. You can look through this hole and kind of see it. There, you can see the flat right there. And it is facing up. Yeah, it is facing up when I can look right down in there and see that flat of the, yeah. Okay, so I am on the correct, I'm on the compression stroke, and I'm ready for when we do the carb or the distributor. So I don't really want to rotate the engine right now. Okay, well, there's the starter. It's in. Gee, it's gonna be a little tough to get to that screw down there for a electrical connection, but we'll have to see. I may have to see about pulling this engine mount off to get to that. I don't know. All right. So what's next? Oh, here we go. We're going to be doing the cylinder heads. That's going to be fun coming up. Looks like we have to put in these oil seals, and we do it only on the intake side. And it looks like the intake is the larger of the two valves. Hang on, let me go get a head here. Okay. Yeah, you can see we have a small, that's the exhaust, and that's the intake. And the reason why I know that is because up here, this is where the spark plugs go, and this is where the exhaust manifold goes, the header pipes. And this guy right here, if you look, he's right in line with this valve when it opens. And you can even see it move when I push the valve. It's looking right at that. So that, of course, is the exhaust, and this is the intake. So according to this, I will have to dismantle this. I'll have to pull the C-ring off and take it all apart and pull this out. And I'm pretty sure these might be ground and tested to seal, and I don't want to be mixing them up. So I'm only going to be dismantling one at a time as I do this. I'll see if I can practice doing a one or so, getting that seal in there, and then I'll come back and film me doing another one so you'd see how I did it. But according to this, I did read something that some people got confused about this. It says that the grooved side faces downward. And remember what I said earlier, that whenever there's a groove, it always faces where the oil is coming from, and that's how it tries to seal off the oil going past it. Well, some people thought that because this head goes like this on the machine, down, then that puts the seal facing down. But if the seal is facing down, that is facing right into the piston here, and there's no oil in here. That's what we're trying to keep the oil out of. The oil is going to be up above when we bolt this on. It's going to be, it's going to be all up in here with oil running all through it up above and everything. And you don't want the pistons sucking that in. So I wrote on here, not as shown. See, they show the thing with the groove up, and we need to flip it 180 and put it into that hole and get it all the way down into another slot that's down there. So install the oil seal into the internal groove. Do not use sharp objects to assist in the installation, as it may damage the oil seal. Okay, so that is our goal for doing all the heads. That'll be 8 of them we got to put in there. And I'm going to practice maybe 1 or 2, and then I'll come back and film how I did it, and then you'll be able to see. Okay.